weekly, the unique mystery-solving RPG for two players from Tin Star Games. I'm the creator of the game, Steve D. Normally we're joined by Ryan, but only Peter is joining us today. Ryan is off in the wonders of Brisbane somewhere. But we're going to... the beauty of having me around as a backup person is I can step in and play... not Ryan's character, but I'm going to play another wild card. I'll be taking the role of Anthony Massol, who is a promoter and PR expert, probably who has been hired to make sure that Jackie's films get a bit more attention and are exactly the kind of thing that people want to see in movie theaters and so on.
You're going to make them realize it, that they really need to know what I have to say.
That's right. Whether we have to glue their eyelids open or not, but we will make sure that they go there and they want to see it. I also took the time this week to generate our suspect, so we can have a nice little prequel. Our suspect this time, our victim, I should say, is Megan Carlisle, and she is a singer. Many years ago, 20-something years ago, she had a big hit in the early 2000s with a song called Grand Canyon Blues, and it was a bit like Shania Twain or that. Who was that song? Who wrote that song about all I want to do is have a little bit of fun before I die? I can't remember.
Yep.
But it was a big hit, and since then her career hasn't been as smooth. Some trouble with the law and some trouble with drugs, but it's just the governor of Arizona wants to make it the national rock and roll song. The state rock and roll song.
I think you're thinking of Sheryl Crow, which was won the 95 Grammy for Record of the Year. Yes,
Sheryl Crow. Yep. If you can find it, I don't know if it's still online, but there was an amazing Sheryl Crow RPG. It was very weird.
I can imagine.
Yes. So she was going to, of course, go and meet the governor and pose for photos, play the song. But she had an accident just before she reached, before she was supposed to go, the day before. And, it's a human interest story of fame and tragedy. So Jackie's been sent in, but we need some suspects. So I'm going to draw some cards. Our club suspect is the king of clubs, is a love interest for one of, could be the victim, or more criminally, one of us. So a love interest of one of the partners. And this has become a negative relationship with negative relationship with the victim. And they need an occupation. They need an occupation. And they work in business.
And are they a man or a woman?
Let's say Anthony's gay or bi, so let's go male. I did draw a club.
Cool.
And
I have the name for you, Bill Crawley.
All right. Nice. Okay. Now, the motive associated with Bill is accident, which means there will be something that points to possibly an accident, but with an asterisk. Our next one is a 5 of diamonds. So that is a female suspect who is a business partner of the deceased, so possibly an agent. And they don't need another profession. And diamonds means it's a negative relationship. So possibly a long-term feud with the agent. And I'll draw a card for the motive associated.
Okay.
Cover-up. Lucy Richardson involved in some sort of cover-up. Right. Okay. Do you want to draw these next two?
Sure. Let me pull out my cards website. 5 of diamonds.
5 of diamonds. That's what I just drew before, I think. So that is another business partner. Also a negative relationship. Maybe that's a band member. That's a business partner. Let's say it's a band member, and we need a motive for them as well.
Okay. 6.
That's protection of some sort. Protecting themselves, protecting the victim, protecting others.
Okay, let's have a man for this one. Oh, that's not a very interesting name, and it's also doubled up. Okay, James Fry.
James Fry. All right. And one more.
Okay, 4 of clubs.
That is a child. So her child, Megan Carlisle's child, and let's find a occupation for them. They're a doctor now, or a nurse. Let's say a nurse.
And positive or negative?
You drew the card, did you not?
Clubs.
Clubs is another negative relationship. Yep.
Oh, everyone's got a negative relationship. She must have done lots.
She's burnt some bridges, I think.
Yeah.
And the motive there is desire.
Okay.
Something she wanted and wasn't allowed to have, perhaps. Alrighty. So let's also, for a moment, see if we want to do a side plot in this episode. Last time the wild card was having an issue. Straight shooter, do you want to have an issue this episode?
Sorry, I had a dog trouble.
That's all right. If we're doing a B plot, the staging scenes, last time the wild card had a problem with themselves, or was that you that had a problem with them?
He generated it, so I'm guessing it was his problem.
Yep. So this could be a problem with you.
Okay.
So you're going to draw just a number.
Okay.
And
a 4.
That's the wild card as well. So your problem is with the wild card in some way. Fair enough. We might find out a little bit more about our background then. All right. Okay. All right. So our first scene, the wild card gives us is going to set things up. And we just need our evidence table so we can find out what kind of evidence we're going to get. And I'll get us a quick keyword and set us up. All right. I have drawn the 9 of diamonds, which means first thing we find out is that stories don't match. And that is a clue about Lucy Richardson, her agent. And I'm going to pop over to random word generator. Let's see if I can get a random word. All right. So when the wild card is the primary, then they start things generally by being completely off topic. Oh, interesting. That's an interesting word. The word is want. And by talking about that, though, somehow it actually provides with an idea for the straight shooter to maybe go and check something and find something out. In this case, we're going to be finding out something about Lucy Richardson's branches, how she connects to poor old Megan. Is that her name? Megan, yes. Megan Carlisle is dead. Right. Well, I think we're probably talking to Lucy to set this whole thing up to start with.
Agent to agent, hey?
Yep. So I'll be introducing you. This is Jackie. She's going to be making a documentary. Well, we hope, obviously, with your cooperation. Sorry.
There really is a story here. We just need to know. We'll shoot until the story presents itself.
Yeah. So I'm actually just going to be completely ignoring the dramatic sort of tension here, and I'm just going to be going, well, what we want really is, of course, to tie this all in to the legacy of Megan. So what we would like is we want branding rights, and we want to have T-shirts, and we want to make sure that we get access to her music, and we can brand everything with her face. And I'm just not even engaging with the fact that anybody is dead. So I'm just going on and on about how this is all just about a marketing opportunity. That's really going to be helpful for everyone's careers. I mean, obviously someone has died, sure, but that's no reason for us not to all get rich.
Title: The Megan Carlisle Story.
Nice.
Yep, we just need to work out what the first word is.
Oh, sorry, the word was want. That's what I was going with.
Ah, yes. No, I was thinking how you title the film.
Ah, right, yes.
Well, this leads Jack to ask Lucy what instructions or standing instructions Megan left about the branding, and we'll work around to the last conversation she had with her off of that.
Yes.
So Lucy says that there was that evening we had the evening before the accident, she had a discussion. She had some lots of waivers to sign before the governor could feel comfortable to declare that she's not going to claim excessive rights when it gets played at state functions and so forth. But it does sound strange that, because it's pretty easy to find out the governor's movements, and he was actually giving a speech at the time. Lucy says,
"Yep, he couldn't have been on the phone call at all."
Yep.
Nice. All right. So Lucy was in charge of the legal parts, and phone call governor did not happen. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Right. Let's have another card and another word. I'm thinking that's I'm like, we always want to, there doesn't have to be a mystery everywhere, Jackie. I mean, this is the thing. People don't want mysteries right now. We've had too much Benoit Blanc. People are oversaturated. They want things to be nice and tidy, or 20 years old, right? Then we can do a podcast about it when it's all died down.
Just because there's mystery at this end doesn't mean we'll be putting mystery in the documentary. We'll work out what's going on, and then we'll work out the best way to tell the story. Okay?
I see. Well, you're the artist, of course. Air quotes, air quotes. What card did you draw?
I drew the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, an accusation.
Okay.
Involving James. Right. And you're our lead this time, so yeah, I can think of lots of reasons you want to talk to the other band members.
Well,
I'm gonna say he was like guitar. It was sort of like one singer, one
yep.
guitarist, like
Okay.
Eurythmics.
So James is a is he lives quite close so that they can get together and
Yep.
like do their creative sessions. But
So they
he
were still
does
working together. Nice.
perhaps with a
Like,
bad grace, but yes, still working together.
nice.
And it does seem as though when Jack goes around to his place, it does seem like he has been sleeping with a young model,
Aha.
but he's reticent to give her name, and Jack does not recognize her, and she's trying to beat a hasty retreat. What can Anthony do to help here?
Well, yeah. Look, obviously, I'm like, oh my. I'm going to be like, yes, all right. Well, I know who this is. This is, Teresa Tomei, who's just the hottest young thing, and I'm going to be like, oh my god, can I have your autograph? I can't believe I've run into you, and I'll be talking all about her latest set, and I sort of um, move myself straight into his house, just like going, we have to, and I'm like, I have to book you because I want to get you onto, my promotional set. Yeah, I want to represent you. So I'm basically just like starstruck, but I'm so starstruck that she's like, oh yeah, come in. And like, she's signing autographs. I'm going, oh my God, these are the pumps you wore to the MTV Movie Awards. This is the thing you wore to the Met Gala, the dress that's made entirely out of like live peacocks. Oh my God. The peacocks are there just going, yeah, you have to live with them. And while you're there, while I'm doing that, I'm sure that James lets his guard down and says that the business was always very savage. And I'm going to see who he accuses actually randomly. I'm going to draw a card and get anything but hearts. Though he might accuse himself, I suppose. That's a heart. Okay, he accuses Bill. He's like, this will be the lawyer, that lawyer of his, Bill Crawley. He was always a devious bastard, and he wanted her out of the way for some reason. He was a gangster as well. He was always getting us mixed up in the wrong kind of shows and shots. If you want to talk to anyone who wanted to kill Megan, go and talk to him.
And does Anthony catch wind of this, or is he too busy doing schmoozing?
I'm not sure. I think he's too busy schmoozing. I think you pick up on that. You're just sort of getting the last bits.
Yep.
So I'm just sort of coming over, and you're like there going, you're thinking about the case. I'm like, oh my God, look at these earrings. Oh my God. They have like tiny little chihuahuas in them. Not real chihuahuas, obviously. But they're amazing. They're amazing. I think I could wear one. That might look good. So what did you hear?
I hear that Bill might be someone worth speaking to. What do you reckon? Should we speak to Bill, Tony?
And I'll just sort of have this moment of like, he's probably not important. Looks off camera.
Well, at the very least, he's got the will.
Yes. I suppose we should go and have just like one of those research things that you artists do. Sorry, that's in the wrong file. The word I got was embargo, which is interesting. And our type of evidence is a 3 of hearts, which means
James again.
Right. And fingerprints or DNA. All right. Yes, so I'm going to be all like weird and like, oh, I'll just wait here at his desk, and then Bill immediately spots me, and he's got nothing but smiles for our, it's like, oh man, haven't seen you since forever. You're such, we had such a great time together all those years ago. I'm glad you're looking good. And I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, you look great. Yep, absolutely. It's fine. And I'm going to suggest that there's been sort of legal embargo about a book, maybe.
Okay. Oh, was she writing her memoirs?
Yeah, so she was writing her memoirs, and that was suddenly bringing everything up. It was just a lovely coincidence. And as a result, there's a whole lot of stuff that he's not allowed to talk about because there's going to be this meeting. There's all this stuff in there. Everything's under legal investigation. So he can't just give us things like wills and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I think there's a conflict of interest here.
Probably.
Because you should know that James is pointing the finger at you. You are a suspect here, and I'm sure you're involved in the drafting of the will as well, weren't you?
Well, I was, but James's fingerprints were all over that as well. Like it was a combination thing. All the musical history really is going to belong to James. He's going to inherit all the music and all the rights. So, I mean, I'm looking after the relationship with the legal details, but the inheritor, of course, is going to of course be James Fry. So if he's throwing around pointing fingers, then he's got fingerprints on everything as well.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
All right, James inherits the legal rights to the music.
And I'm assuming at this stage she's got several albums. Even though some of the later ones were not as well received.
So, yeah, there was like 5 albums, but and then there was the Greatest Hits album, which was almost all taken from the first 2.
So there's a steady trickle of money there from radio plays.
Yeah, and with this new thing, it's going to kick off again. A book.
Yep.
A death. A state song. There's suddenly money in the area. So yeah. So right, we have an interim scene. I'm going to be weirdly quiet. It's like, well, he was a complete jerk, wasn't he? You can't trust some people,
What is wrong with you? You always got time for people. What is it about this? I can't believe you'd be so unprofessional. You're dealing. Can't professionals recognize professionals here? I think he was quite generous in giving us those details. And
well, you don't know him like I know him. It's all an act with Bill, all fine and dandy, and then he breaks your heart and runs off to Monte Carlo.
So everything he does is an act, and nothing that you do is an act. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think you as a documentary person would know that everything we do is an act, right? And
Jack just rolls her eyes.
Yeah. If if you just wake up and understand that people aren't these little cockroaches that you can just study under your film. They're all complicated. They're all putting on a map. Mask. Everybody lies. All right. Our next scene is involving Lucy and the type of evidence.
There's 2 of diamonds, so that is
Other physical evidence, I think.
okay.
No, other records.
Other records.
So records that aren't financial or phone records.
Okay.
Births, deaths. Who knows? Could even be ballistic records, although we know.
That's something that
drug record.
we might find difficult to.
A criminal record? Oh, it could just be records kept in a book, of course. Maybe we can get. I'll stop saying things and you can think.
Well, I'm wondering whether there are. It's a fairly nice house that because she died at home. I'm wondering whether there are cameras at the because we've managed to talk to the police enough that they are fairly sure of the time of death. Someone heard she fell from the balcony and someone heard the noise, but we need to be able to look at those CCTV footage. Not only will it make excellent background material, but it will tell us if anyone else was in the immediate vicinity.
Right. Yes. Well, I suppose we can get them from Lucy. I'll go and make nice about deals and stuff. Yeah. Let me just. What's that word? Bang.
Yep.
And we're going to be finding out about the roots of their relationship. Okay. Yeah. So what I'm actually going to do is we'll go back to the apartment, and I'll be distracting Lucy because I've started. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I actually just stole a copy of the book from Bill's office.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, he was just leaving this lying around, and there's this bit in here where, like, it turns out that Megan tried to shoot Lucy one time. I'm going to go and ask her about that. So this is back at Megan's apartment, and I'm just I'm now going all in on this mystery thing about possibly to distract myself. It's like, so Lucy, why did Megan try to shoot you that one time in 2004? And while I'm doing that, you can go and talk to the security guard.
Okay, so a press pass and setting up an impromptu interview with the security guard who likes to look important. It's like, we've got some very important people live here.
Oh, I can help with that too. It's like, yes, it's tell-all book. We'll put you in it too. How much did you really know her? I bet your story is the really important one.
And what it shows is that Lucy did not go up to the apartment at the time in question, but she is there on camera shouting abuse from the ground floor up to the towards the balcony.
Right.
So we start to see that this agent relationship isn't. She can be professional, but there are times when she's just thinks that Megan's being ridiculous, and then she'll react by shouting and
Yeah, she just drives up and starts screaming up at the apartment again, saying, "You mad bitch, why are you doing this to me?" And we hear Megan screaming something like, "Oh, you just want your 30%. Or is it 35? I forget. That was an accounting error."
That was the
Um,
residuals.
yeah. A lot of screaming about who stole whom's money.
Yep.
All right. Our next word is reported. And let's have a card. I've drawn the 9 of clubs. Is that James
No, it's
again?
Bill.
That's Bill. All right.
So the scene we had at Bill's office was actually a James, a scene about
Yes,
James.
that's
So
right.
we're only just getting to the branches for Bill.
Yeah, that was just about the will, but we found out that James inherits everything.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was his roots. I put that in the wrong
That's
place,
okay.
didn't I?
I already typed it in.
You fixed it. Excellent. So 9 of clubs is... Oh, that's the stories don't match again. Excellent. All right. So, and the word was reported.
Okay.
All right. So, with our... I'm going to have... Bill's basically going to work out that I stole the book and come and find us. And I'll be like, "Look, it was just sitting on your desk in your drawer with the drawer shut and locked, and I didn't know if you wanted it, kept there or something. I just decided to take it." I think we should leak some of this because it's going to be very, very useful for all of us.
Is this that you stole my heart, so I have to steal something back?
Yes, basically. And I'm justifying it because it'll make everyone money. And Bill's trying to be calm and all smiles, but it's not quite working. Yeah, I'm going to just start grilling him about. It was reported in this paper and this paper that she wanted to change that you were her lawyer at one point. And just grilling him on all this sort of little bits of evidence that I can find. It's like, obviously, she just had a change of heart all of a sudden. Is that something that you know about, Bill, where people just suddenly change their heart and, leave?
Right. Give me a sec. I'm just going to go and do some more sound installation.
Nice. And we're going to find out the branches. How is Bill's relationship with Megan? He's a lawyer, but has he been a good lawyer? This episode of Partners Expose is brought to you by sand. Sand, you can use it to grow things.
Sand behind the best hydroponic and the best glazing.
You can eat it if you're hungry enough. Sand for all your sand needs. Yes, so angry, and I think he's just going to tell us something about where he was or where he wasn't that you can pick up on.
Okay. I reckon that it's not that she wanted another lawyer.
Yeah.
It's that Bill wanted to hand her off to someone else more junior in his firm.
Right.
To try and make so he could go after bigger fish.
Yep. She wasn't famous enough.
Well,
nice work, Bill.
Yeah. He doesn't think. She keeps moaning about his fees, and he's like, "Well, if you're going to not pay my fees, then you can. My junior charge is slightly less."
In autobiography. Excellent. Well, he'll slip up about that, and then we'll leave in a huff. And I'll be like, "See, I told you, sir. He just changes his mind. He's like a twisty turny thing." Right. Our next scene 6, involves How do I do that? The Queen of Clubs. Which is another accusation, isn't it? Yep. That's an accusation about Bill. Now, I'm sure a lot of people, well, we've already had one accusation about Bill, but it's an accusation involving Bill, and we're going to find out more about his past. Our word is clique.
So this is Jack does some research about Bill, and yes, this is his hometown. So he's probably running with the same group of friends and the same contacts that he had back when Anthony knew him better.
Yeah.
So I think this is the point at which Jack treats Anthony like a source and like puts him on camera and starts interviewing him about.
Oh, right.
Not about necessarily the ins and outs of their relationship, but about the people that they knew in common.
Yeah, absolutely.
Try and see, this helps this Anthony. We might get to the bottom of what Anthony is actually hurt by, but for the purposes of the documentary, this is about: does he have any skeletons in his closet that go back that many years?
Well, there wasn't a lot to do for young gay guys growing up in the 90s in Phoenix, Arizona. That's for sure. It was just sort of trawling car parks and doing a lot of drugs. So, look, if I'll say it, if Megan Carlisle had a drug problem, I can guarantee you 100% that Bill was her supplier or knew her supplier very, very well. Because where else is she going to go, right? And look, I may have bent the law a little bit regarding certain pharmaceutical accoutrement, and we all did back in the 90s. But I'm just saying.
You inhaled, is what you're saying.
Yes, I did inhale, and also, rubbed it into my gums a few times and that sort of stuff. I'm saying that he is. Bill was also part of that scene, and as I say, people, they're always acting, right? Especially if you're an addict or have that in your past. So, all right. Now, in our interim scene, what is really behind us fighting? That is a good question. So this is Roots. So this is about going to what is the core of the argument? That you can't. Well, I was going to say that you, for someone who spends a lot of time looking, for mysteries, you trust people too much.
I trust people that most people want to be able to tell their story as they see it.
Well, that's sorry, I cut you off.
So you think that having a camera in the room inevitably changes how people react?
I think having an eyeball in the room changes how people react. That's what I think, and I think you are putting on a performance as well. You're playing at being this serious journalist, but you want what everybody wants. You want to be famous and you want to make a lot of money, and that's why I'm here. I'm supposed to be helping you, but you have to be one of those people who pretend that you don't need my help.
I just don't want my work to be sexed up too much. It's got to be good enough. It doesn't need that.
Like a little bit of sizzle is what guides people to the steak. That's the thing. It's not about one thing or the other.
So and that's why we keep the window open while we cook the steak. We don't get essence of smoke and start pumping it out of all the windows and doors.
Fair enough. Right. Well, I've drawn the 2 of clubs for our scene 7, which leads us to Bill's poison.
We need to
And
find out whether
speaking of
it's literal poison.
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to, just go and find an old friend that we knew together, who lives out on the sort of desert plain. Since the word was plain, there was an old, slightly older guy who sort of supplied us all the drugs, and I'm just going to be like badgering him to tell us if he sold drugs to Bill, if he sold drugs to Megan, and I'm generally getting way off the case again. I'm like, I start, going like, you were selling drugs to all those people back then. You were probably selling them to celebrities. You were probably selling them to Teresa Tomei, that model. And did she say anything about me? Did Bill say anything about me? When Bill left, did he say anything to you when he left? I'm just kind of going down this tangent again about, because, right, he said to me that he just had these complicated feelings that I think maybe he was, sleeping around. So what is Bill's poison?
Well, the old dealer sighs and says, well, Bill's tastes have changed, but his ways to relax haven't.
So Bill's still an addict.
And he pulls it, he says, turn the cameras off. So I turn off the main camera, of course. There's so it just like police might be armed with 2 guns, I'm always armed with 2 cameras.
Oh, that's a nice line.
And he pulls out a little notebook with some code and says, "Yep, here it is." I wouldn't call this the hard stuff, but it's prescription painkillers. The generic ones.
Opioids,
yeah, pretty easy to get and shift around.
Yep.
And maybe that's smart because he doesn't think it traces back to him.
Right.
But I like you, Tony. You're always good to me. So I tell you this for old time's sake.
Fair enough.
Don't get involved with him again. He's bad news.
Oh. I like that. All right. Again, this just proves my point. See? All smiles, but Bill's bad news. All right. Next card and next word.
Okay. Our card is the Ace of Spades.
Right,
we do not have a name for the child.
Oh, right.
Let's have one. Ruth.
Yep.
I think Carlisle is actually going to be her name at this stage.
Yep. All right. So we're finally finding out, and that's going to be financial or phone records.
Okay.
So time to meet Ruth.
Our word is snail.
Snail. All right.
Okay, so in the obviously all the action is going to be around the apartment and the immediate vicinity because the
paparazzi may have shown up.
Paparazzi, a few ladies in their mid-30s who were teenagers when the big hits were out.
Yep,
they're weeping together. And pick out Ruth because she's there, but she's just that little bit too young. You're like, you don't look like you would remember these things. Okay, that's because you've got a resemblance here.
Yeah.
So,
but I presume. Sorry, go. Yep.
So, Jack kind of introduces herself. Let's come over here. It looks like Ruth just come off shift because she's in her in her uniform with a little watch and tag. And what? Why haven't we seen you here before? This is. I'm sure you loved your mother very much, but it's curious, don't you agree, that it took you so long to make it to get here? Over to you.
I'm going to I'm going to sort of just burst in and be over formal and go, don't be rude to her. You know, her mother is dead. Leave her alone. And I'll push her away and like from you, but then I'll turn around and go, did you see her arms? She actually had snail trails, needle tracks up and down her arms. She's probably still half, you know, coming down from something. The poor girl. I'm sure she's inherited her mother's problems with substance abuse, and that means we can also track, you know, some part of that. But we've got to be a little bit more careful, I guess. And look, yeah, we can probably even see if she's made some calls to anyone in the area or something. Well, actually, no, I'll make some calls and see, again, back to our drug dealing friends, and see if anyone is actually dealing to Ruth as well. It's a small world after all. All right, the next scene is Four of Hearts. Hearts is back to James. And 4 is other records and notes, physical evidence. All right. So, and that will be the poison for James, won't it?
Yes, it will.
Yep. All right. And the word was soccer.
Okay.
Hey, you found it. You found the Sheryl Crow RPG. Excellent.
Thankfully, I assume Gregor's the author. He's still got it on his website.
Yes.
So Google hits it quite easily.
Oh, nice. Yes, I met Gregor many in Europe. Good. It's very weird and very lovely. Anyway, we'll put a link maybe on this YouTube thing. The word is soccer, which is a lot of fun. I think we're trying to find James, and you know, James is he's trying to like live a little bit clearer, you know, cleaner now that he's 47 and dating a 23-year-old model, but he has to go to his kid's soccer game, for example, and the model is there, very, very bored, while he's shouting at the kids and telling them to do things.
Well, there is a local team, Phoenix Rising FC.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, I am actually going to be. Oh well, look, I obviously barracked for when I was here 20 years ago, I was heavily again backing for the other team. So we go in there and we find James, and we're about to start questioning it, and then I just go offside, and I just run off onto the pitch, and I'm screaming at the ref, and causing a huge scene.
This is.
Whoop! You broke up there. Hello. Hello.
This is your Italian heritage.
Yes. Well, it's like I said, there wasn't much to do back in the
The
90s
beautiful game and all of that.
in Phoenix, in Arizona. So we did drugs, or we did football, or we did both. And
Sometimes at the same time.
yeah, so I'm probably going to get yelled at and escorted out of the building.
Obviously the
Yep.
like proper cameras.
You're breaking up a lot, man. I can't hear you. Yeah. Try that again. No, can't hear you. YouTube. I just had a big gap and then YouTube. Is that because you'd opened something?
That's it's going to be a while. It doesn't just get there just for their soccer game.
Aha. Oh, can you hear me? Maybe you can't.
Same time as I break up, I think.
Okay. Right. So
The act
something
of
was
showing the
oh wow,
the kids are filming them. She does score a goal and get it on there.
Nice.
Start showing off videos on his phone. This is my kid doing that.
You're breaking up really badly. I'm going to.
It's not.
Let me see if I kick you and bring you back in. Yeah, I'm getting low bars for you. You're on orange for some reason. Whereas I'm on green.
Can you hear that? Me
yep,
okay now?
Yep.
So, filming James's son's soccer team and James.
No, you're breaking up again. I don't know why. My net connection is 10 out of 10. Your connection is 5 out of 10. Don't know why. Something's not good with the stream. Okay, yep. Come back in. Try that. We're sorry for this technical difficulty. Ladies and gentlemen listening at home, just take a moment to imagine some more products that you might like to buy. Because what is television without advertising? Much better is the answer. Today's episode of Partners Expose is... Yep, we got green bars again. All right, cool. So, we were looking at phones. Can you hear me? Oh, no, you've dropped back down to orange again. Damn it. I don't know why. You were green for a second. Now you've gone down to 3 out of 10 again. 7 out of 10. It's fluctuating.
It's the cat though.
I've turned your volume up a little bit as well. See if that helps. It's not sensitivity though, so it shouldn't really make any difference.
Oh, now you can see the sausage being made, folks.
Finn is suggesting that we're advertising almond milk, which is good. You're at 7 out of 10, so you might be okay.
Okay, so
yeah. No,
all like the baby photos going through. He's.
Oh poo! All right, I'm not getting you at all.
His marriage basically broke down.
Okay, we are going to just switch to text for a second, and we might have to cut this short because I cannot actually hear what Peter's saying. We will finish the episode. Oh, Okay, Peter, you can hear me. James' marriage broke down because Megan put so much pressure on to keep touring with the band. Right, so he has definitely has motive there. Is he trying to protect her from, or protect someone else? Protect himself, protect his marriage. Yeah, could be. I think though, with this sound issues, we might have to stop there. And maybe next week. Yeah, he's very bitter about not getting more access to his son. But yeah, unless we can figure out why we're getting such a bad network, which could just be the miracle of Telstra. Episode, what scene were we up to there? We were up to scene. That was scene 9, so there's only a little bit left, but I think we might try that clincher next time, and just pretend this is a streaming show, which means, of course, we don't have to write, perfect with a episode ending. Peter was writing some excellent stuff about the quality of the relationship between these two characters. James needed to tour to make money, but he also hated touring because it kind of destroyed his life. And yeah, maybe he needed to protect himself from her, get her out of his life, or maybe there was someone else he was trying to protect from falling into that life as well and making the same mistakes that he did. We won't be able to find out this evening because of technical difficulties. So pretend it's a Netflix show or it's streaming show of your choice on your channel of your choice. And we'll just end with, this reveal about his bitterness and cut to me being hauled off by security. I was like, but it was offside! God damn it! I'll kill you all! And that's the end of the episode. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the technical issues. And we'll catch you next week on Partners Expose. And you'll have to find out who killed Megan Carlisle.